Some added good and some added bad. Welcome to my channel, KC. That's me, Carrie Chug, the Sledge Storyteller, here to talk about the wonderful world of storytelling and to open up discussion about how we can tell the best stories we can, talking about movies, everything good and bad from a storytelling standpoint, and specifically superhero movies. Now, Batman Forever. I've found a wide spectrum of opinions on this movie. I know a lot of people who absolutely love it, believing it to be a misunderstood gem. The diehard fans of Burton and Keaton, I think they attack it more than Batman and Robin, all because virtually no one is going to argue for that. And that anyone who likes Batman Forever, they drive them nuts. Those who are just less bitter about it dwell on it mainly as a downhill point for that Batman movie's franchise. Others consider it to be a decent Batman movie. Like me. Overall, it was a sign that Warner Brothers didn't have a good handle on audience expectations, nor a complete understanding of the Batman mythos itself. But what to make of it? So first, the most frequently jabbed at item when it comes to this movie, bat nipples. Now, truthfully, I remember when I first saw this movie at the long defunct Newgate Starship Cinemas and, not picking up on the nipples on the Batsuit. If you saw my video on the 60s Batman movie, you might remember my mentioning attending an event where Adam West spoke at my college. While talking about more recent Batman movies, he mentioned the nipples in passing, and it dawned on me, that might have been there. Unless anyone think that there's no precedence of nipples on chest armor, look at some ancient armor. Now, neither before watching Batman Forever nor after would I ever even consider, if I was given the chance to design a bat suit, putting on nipples. But right now, my number one reason for not wanting to see them on any movie bat suit would be to just not hear the constant crankiness on the subject. But enough of that. There is, of course, the issue where few of the lines rendered by Batman, they're more lighthearted than they should be.
I'll get drive-through. The bat signal is not a beeper. You're trying to get under my cape, Doctor? It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
The plot moves at times with exposition courtesy of the Gotham News. We see the occasional uncomfortable dip into fetishes. I do also have editing issues with the movie, especially after learning how so many scenes were left out of the movie that would add so much more substance to the story. The dark scene surrounding Two-Face's escape from Arkham Asylum, and another deleted scene that's got Dick just after he's moved into Wayne Manor. He's getting his frustrations out on a punching bag and showing his bitterness, and Bruce, he so wants to help Dick deal with this, knowing that he had to as well, and it's getting nowhere. But one deleted scene that I so wish had been put into this movie is the scene where Bruce Wayne's recuperating from the attack from Riddle and Two-Face on Wayne Manor. He's coming to grips with his repressed memories surrounding the death of his parents and seeing his father's journal during his wake, and what shaped his mind toward taking on the image of the Bat. Another apparent editing issue, parts that feel like padding, like the scene where the Bat signal calls him into action, and just what kind of criminal activity was underway is unclear. He finds himself tricked by Two-Face into stopping into the middle of a tunnel, only to have to act quickly to dodge the rocket fired at him. The resulting wall climb doesn't bother me as much as it others, but it seems the whole point of that scene is just to further frustrate Two-Face as he vents about that in the next scene involving him. Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face doesn't really feel like Two-Face. It veers from the core of the character, especially toward the end, where you see him doing multiple coin flips, waiting for it to give him permission to shoot Bruce Wayne. Lastly, and there will be positives forthcoming about Robin in the movie, he's older than he should be as an orphan kid with nowhere to go, But my one real issue is that in the end, he served no purpose functionally as a sidekick to Batman, but served the story's purpose as a liability in the Riddler setup of Batman's big dilemma of having to choose between him and girlfriend Chase as to who to save from a deadly plummet. In the end, Robin served zero heroic purpose. While the gripe I've been given in the first two Batman movies over wanting to have Batman show greater muscularity, it does continue with Val Kilmer, who knows who was actually in better shape between him and Michael Keaton. It helped a little that Kilmer's frame made him look a little more athletic. For the longest time, I've heard several people refer to Kilmer's performance as stiff, cold, wooden, stilted, and cardboard. I can't tell you how many times I've watched Batman Forever just to get something of an idea of the reasoning to those judgments and not feeling it in the slightest. And I mean, I watch...
This goes way beyond taking your work home, doesn't it, Doctor?
So you run out into the night to find another face, and another, and another. Until one terrible morning you wake up and realize that revenge has become your whole life. And you won't know why.
And if you do find Harvey, and then you kill him, what next?
Exactly. Then you'd be alone, like me.
Here I see passion, I see personality, I see rich emotion, and why I shouldn't see it that way, by all means, enlighten me. When as Batman, looking past those few goofy moments, Kilmer gives us a very self-assured performance. Instead giving his voice like a rasp like Keaton, he effectively deepens his voice, and he also moves with such fluidity even when it's him and not the stunt double. A Bruce Wayne with pathos and a more than competent Batman in an all-round good performance. Chris O'Donnell was hit and miss experiment with the character of Robin. Everyone knew that to make him age accurate from the comics and live action wouldn't fly. It feels like he would have to be at least 18, and that would mean he would be expected to leave shortly after starting out as Robin, maybe meeting with Bruce on call while in the college dorm. Not an easily worked in character here. But he makes the bitter orphan work while looking for an outlet for his actions that were fueled by revenge. Tommy Lee Jones, again, not in line with how Two-Face is ideally portrayed, but while I readily prefer Aaron Eckhart's portrayal, Jones's over-the-top portrayal does carry its own charm. Everyone knew exactly what kind of Riddler we would get from Jim Carrey, and while I get much more from Paul Dano's performance as far as the substance is concerned, I get a lot of enjoyment from Carrey's Frank Gorshin on steroids performance. And to me, Pat Hingle's Commissioner Gordon here was an upgrade over his performance as Gordon in Batman Returns. Here we finally see him and Batman having a working conversation, though a bit dampened by their taking place in a crowded street, but it's still a stronger working relationship. And while we get more of the same bumbling cops, Gordon shows some competence and takes his job seriously. Too bad that will all end in the next movie. I also see an upgrade on how well Alfred is used with Michael Goff's performance, working very closely with Bruce and seeming to be more respected by Bruce as he sorts through those riddles. Nicole Kidman as Chase Meridian was serviceable. She wasn't as layered as Michelle Pfeiffer's Selena Kyle, but more interesting than Kim Basinger's Vicky Vale. Rene Auberjonois, he's worth mentioning even if you only see him for a bit. I wish we could have seen more of him. That we would have had that aforementioned deleted scene that would have been at the beginning. But I guess I love him because I loved him in Benson. I do see a downgrade with the Batmobile, while I actually like what the black lighting added to the model. It furthered the issue that I have with the elongated Batmobile, making it not that maneuverable. But I see an upgrade with the Batwing, more sleek and jagged than the first Batwing. The Batboat was just fine, and you couldn't expect it to have that elaborate of a design. The fight choreography, again, was more fluid than what we had seen before, very high octane. The action in general was handled well and was exciting. While not exactly practical, I get an adrenaline rush whenever I see the climax in the end as Batman uses his grapples to save the day in that fashion. It's just love it. And while I don't care for the neon lighting, the design for Gotham was interesting and ironically makes me think of Metropolis. And by that I'm referring to the 1927 silent film made by Fritz Lang with its steel-supported highways and bridges. Elliot Goldenthal's score is passing. It has the right bombastic points. It's not as good as what Danny Elfman put together for Batman of 1989. Now, as you may have gotten from this and the two previous Batman movie reviews, I didn't feel like this franchise truly tapped into Batman's complete potential. Batman Forever is no exception, but overall, Joel Schumacher, Val Kilmer, and the rest of the cast did give us a decent Batman movie. Now, I get that there are those who have absolute hatred for the movie, but to make my point, I'll take the words from an actor from another much-beloved superhero movie.
Some people can read War and Peace and come away thinking it's a simple adventure story. Others can read the ingredients on a chewing gum wrapper and unlock the secrets of the universe.
Now, in terms of storytelling we enjoy, I firmly believe that everyone has their War and Peace and everyone has their chewing gum wrapper. But that's my take on Batman Forever. Thank you for watching. Agree, disagree, something I left out? Please let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please click like. If you like this channel, please click subscribe or follow me on Instagram. As always, the link to order Sledge number 1 and 2 through indieplanet.com is in the link in the description. Or you can order Sledge number 1 on Kindle. In any case, it'll be available on both digital and paper formats. But I'll keep saying it, let's look for civility amid all the bad news out there about social and political strife. Let's try to get along. Let's see each other with the value that they have to offer. I think everybody has the potential for good, and let's look for the good in everybody. But everyone, thank you for watching. Be safe, and God bless.